guys, welcome to 𝐻𝐵𝐻𝐵. In today's reading, we will find out how did the person on your mind feel the last time that you guys met. So I did do one about the next time that they see you. This is going to be about the last time that they saw you. And we will ask three things in this reading. First, we will ask how were they feeling or what was going on in their head during that last interaction. Second, what were they noticing about you? And lastly, what was left unsaid by them post that last interaction. All right, so you can see an image on your screen right now. You've got three options to choose from. Feel free to pause the video over here, meditate on all your options, pick whichever one calls out to you the most. You'll find the timestamps in the pinned comment and the description box, so make your choice and let's get started. Hello group 1, welcome to your reading. So let's start by asking, how was the person on your mind feeling during your last meeting? Let's begin. Spirit, how was the person on group 1's mind feeling the last time they met? We have the Ace of Pentacles. It does not matter how long ago this meeting was. How was the person on group 1's mind feeling the last time they met? Nine of Cups. How was the person on group 1's mind feeling the last time they met? And we have the Three of Wands. Maybe it's been a while since you guys met last. Perhaps you met in 2019, 2013, 2009, maybe 2003 for some of you. Doesn't have to be. Or maybe it was as recent as 2025. But anyway, they were ecstatic, okay? The catch is that I can see how you might not have been able to guess it, because there is this aloofness of the Three of Wands over here mixed with the excitement of the Nine of Cups. So they were very happy to see you. In fact, the Ace of Pentacles tells me that they probably got you to agree to meet with them, and they were hoping against hope that you would show up, that you would agree to meet them, and you did. And so they were very, very grateful for you turning up. They were very happy that they get to see you. The Three of Wands over here tells me that you maybe did not know at the time that this was most likely going to be the last time that you guys see each other, but they knew that. It was already there in their head, because the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Wands tell me that after this meeting got over, or perhaps around the time of this last meeting that took place between you guys, they were stepping into a new chapter of their life. And most likely for a lot of you, this new chapter could have required them to relocate. So after this meeting was done, they could have shifted cities or maybe even countries for some of you. So they knew that this big shift was up ahead in their life. And the Three of Wands over here tells me that because of that, there was that hesitation in their energy. Because of that, they're taking this deliberate step back, that I cannot go all in, even though I want to. Like, there's so much I want to say. I want to hug her. I want to just, pour my heart out in front of her, but I cannot, because what's the point? There is a lot of rationality over here mixed with feelings. This is someone who feels very deeply, but they do not necessarily let it come to the surface. So even when they were with you the last time that you guys met, they were very happy, but there is an undercurrent of sadness over here as well. Almost as if a part of them had detached and was merely an observer, trying to capture that memory, because they knew that for a very long time at least, this is the only memory that will help them retain a part of you or a part of this connection, because meeting each other like this again and again will not be possible. And of course, it does not have to be true for all of you that they're the one who relocated. Maybe you did, or maybe both of you did, whatever the case was. So there was happiness and there was sadness, and there was this deliberate effort to contain all of those emotions and make sure that you don't get to see just how excited or just how happy they are to see you in front of them, flesh and bone. Okay, Let's see, what were they noticing about you during that interaction? Spirit, what is the person on group 1's mind noticing about them the last time they met? We have the Page of Pentacles. What was the person on group 1's mind noticing about them the last time they met? Knight of Pentacles. What was the person on group 1's mind noticing about them the last time they met? Ace of Cups. Okay, first of all, they definitely took notice of whatever it is that you were wearing, however it is that you were dressed, because they loved what they saw, they liked what they saw. Again, the Ace of Cups is underneath the Three of Wands, so they might not have complimented you to your face that you look really good or you look really pretty, but they definitely noticed it. Something about your collarbones, the lip color that you were wearing, the perfume that you were wearing. If you were wearing something that was blue or purple or pink or red, all of those things are coming up over here. They loved what they were seeing in front of them. But the Page of Pentacles over here to the Knight of Pentacles tells me that the biggest thing that they noticed was how there was a shift in your temperament, in your behavior towards them. For a lot of you, with the presence of the Page being present over here, I feel like this is a connection that goes way back, and perhaps it has been ages since you guys met. And so when you guys were closer together, when you guys would hang out together more frequently, the way you used to behave with them then was starkly different compared to how you were behaving with them the last time that you guys met. You came across as very detached. With the Knight of Pentacles over here, I can see that even if they were saying something to you, you weren't holding direct eye contact with them. Your energy, your body language was a little bit fidgety, and they noticed that, of course. It made them feel like you weren't really interested in listening to whatever it is that they had to say, or that you were only doing this as a favor, that fine, you wanted to meet, so here I am, but it's not like I'm interested in meeting you, or I do not want this conversation to drag, or I do not want to drag this meeting, like that. They could feel you pulling away. They noticed that. You weren't, like, your energy wasn't as amped up around them as it used to be. And even then, with the energy of the Ace of Cups over here, and I'm feeling that overwhelmed right now as I'm channeling, which they were feeling at the time. They knew with the Ace of Cups over here that they started it. They pulled away first. And now you were merely reflecting what they had already done, but now that they were experiencing it firsthand in front of them, it hurt. It's like simultaneously two emotions got triggered in them when they noticed how detached you were being, or how indifferent you were being. The first emotion was, I probably deserve this. And the second emotion was, this does not feel good at all, and it makes me feel nostalgic about how things used to be between us. You weren't even being hot and cold. You were mostly cold, I would say. And they noticed that. Earlier, especially with the energy of the Ace of Cups being present over here, Group 1, you're the kind of person, Group 1, who, when you like someone, or when you're hanging out with someone and you sincerely are enjoying the company of that person, everything about you, your expressions, your body language, the peppiness in your tone when you're saying something, all of those things reflect just how much you're enjoying being there. And all of that was absent during that last meeting. It's almost as if they could see that you were not being your usual self, and they were to blame for it, and they did not like it at all. Okay, now let's see what was left unsaid by them during that last meeting. Spirit, what was left unsaid by the person on Group 1's mind the last time they met? We have the King of Pentacles, Four of Swords. What was left unsaid by the person on Group 1's mind the last time they met? and we have the Sun. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Empress. Regardless of how they behaved, they do not want you to doubt your worth for a split second, which can happen. Like I've seen it happen many times with clients also. If a person is not treating you well, you tend to internalize it. You feel like it's probably because there's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. I don't look a certain way, or I am not a certain way, and that's probably it. But over here, this person wants to assure you that whatever they did has got nothing to do with who you are or how you are. They never doubted your worth, even for a split second, like I said. One of the first things that they wish they could have told you with the energy of the King of Pentacles over here is how desperate they were, or how much they longed to be with you, to put down their roots with you, to start a family with you, to commit to you, to grow old with you, to marry you. All those things, all those long-term dreams, all of those long-term plans were very much there, buzzing in their head. It's just that they did not verbally communicate any of it to you. In fact, with the Four of Swords, I don't think they shared their plans that they had with you with anybody else, for that matter. Like not their family, not their closest friends, not their siblings, nobody. With the Four of Swords being present over here, another thing that they wanted to tell you was just how much soothing your physical presence is for them. Especially if this is someone whom you had met after a long period of time and then you haven't met them since. There's just something about you. When you're sitting next to them, or when you are in their line of vision, automatically they start feeling very calm. They start feeling very grounded. They get this feeling that everything will be okay. As long as I've got her, there's no reason for me to worry. Everything will be all right. And they wanted to tell you how much that means to them, how much having you by their side, or how much you having agreed to show up meant to them, but they could not say any of it. With the energy of the Sun being present, so remember when I said that they noticed that shift in your behavior, like you weren't being your usual self, you were not being your usual chirpy, fun self. They wanted to tell you that they wish to see that side of you, and they wanted you to retain that side of yours. But the reason why they did not say any of this is because the Four of Swords being in the center tells us that somewhere on a very conscious level, they were aware of the fact that the shift in you was a direct consequence of whatever it is that they had said, or whatever it is that they had done. So, you can't slap someone and then say, oh no, don't rub your cheek. What's the problem? What's the matter? Because they did this to you. You were acting like that because of them, which is why they did not have the courage to tell you that, oh no, don't be this way. How could they have told you this, right? That's why they didn't. They also did not tell you how happy they were to see you. It killed them to not be able to tell you how happy they were to see you, and how glad they were to see that even though you were being detached from them, overall it did seem like you were doing fine, that you had your life in order, and that wherever you were and whatever it is you were doing, you seemed happy. They were happy to see you living your life the way you want, in a happy manner. But all of that they kept to themselves. With the King of Pentacles over here and the Sun, they wanted to tell you how much walking away from this is upsetting them. With the Four of Swords over here, they wanted to tell you that it's not just you who's hurting, that they are hurting too. For a lot of you, I feel like this person gave precedence to their career, higher education, things like that, over this connection. It was a choice that they made, all right, but they wanted to tell you that it was not an easy choice for them to make. But they did make that choice, and then they had to stick to that choice. They also wanted to tell you with the Ace of Cups and the Sun over here that even in that moment, they knew that they can never replicate this feeling with anybody else. How they feel in your presence, how they feel when they see you, how it affects them when you seem bothered. They knew that they will not be able to replicate any of this ever with anybody else. But in that moment with the Four of Swords over here, because they knew that they had hurt you, they chose to keep all of this to themselves so as not to cause any further distress to you. Alright, group 1. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you have any suggestions besides future spouse readings, I've got tons of future spouse reading suggestions already, which I will be getting to. Anything other than that, feel free to drop it down in the comments below. All the details to book a personal reading with me, get access to exclusive readings by me on Patreon, and more readings by me on Instagram are given in the description box. I will see you next time. Bye. Hello group 2, welcome to your reading. So let's find out first, how was the person on your mind feeling during your last meeting? Let's get to it. Spirit, how was the person on group 2's mind feeling during their last meeting? We have the Five of Cups. How was the person on group 2's mind feeling during their last meeting? Three of Cups. How was the person on group 2's mind feeling during their last meeting? And the Moon. They were feeling extremely emotional and yet trying their level best to not display any of it, although the Moon over here tells me that you did get a whiff of it for sure. Also, I don't think that you guys were just by yourselves in this last meeting. The Three of Cups tells me that there were definitely other people involved. So I don't know what this was. I don't know if this was a farewell party for you or for them, or it was just people getting together, some social event, some outing, and then that was it. This could have happened 3 years ago. This could have happened 5 years ago. 2025, 2023, 2015, 2013, 2018 also for some of you is coming across. I mean, these years are coming across wherein the meeting could have happened, but does not have to be. For a few of you, maybe the last meeting happened as recently as 3 to 5 months ago. So anyway, there definitely was a lot of heaviness that this person was feeling, a lot of sadness over here. Okay, so I just got this message, group 2, that the problem with this person is that okay, how do I explain this? They can't have you for whatever reason, like we can't be, and I've got other things or whatever. But they also don't want to see you with anybody else. And I think they did see you with somebody else in that last meeting. Maybe not in a romantic sense, but they could have seen other people, like other guys eyeing you. They could have seen other guys crushing on you. They could have seen other people discussing the possibility of asking you out, or maybe in particular they saw one person buzzing around you a lot more than usual and it upset them. The Five of Cups tells me that even if this person was the one to push you away in that last meeting, they did not like seeing or witnessing the attention that you got from other people. It was almost as if it was, how do I put this, malfunctioning their headspace or their heart space in a weird way, like, well, she's mine, how is she talking to this person? Does he not know that I have a thing for her, or like we used to be a thing? How is he flirting with her in my presence? Like that. They were not okay with it. In fact, Moon and Five of Cups over here tells me that some of the other people who were present over there with you guys could have actually called this person out on their behavior. Like, why are you standing there in a corner? Why come hang out with us? Why aren't you talking to us? Usually you have more than one drink. Why are you acting so aloof? What's bothering you? Why are you being so weird? But they were not answering these questions, of course. I mean, what would they say, right? They were keeping all of that to themselves, but they were pissed. They were sad, they were annoyed. And I think in that moment, for sure, with the Five of Cups and the Three of Cups, seeing you getting that attention from other people, or listening to other people discussing the idea of pursuing you during that last meeting, that is what made them realize what exactly had they let go of. You realize something, the value of something, only when you see somebody else cherishing it. And with the Five of Cups over here, they realized that they thought that, it's just another connection, and I'll probably get lots more like this as life passes. And in that moment, they realized that definitely, of course, they can get another person, but they can never get another you. In general, the energy of the moon over here tells me that this is someone who's very moody. They have a lot of mood swings. How do I put this? Okay. And maybe this is something that you've said to them yourself. Like how it's like how you would sometimes behave when you are PMSing. Even though they don't get periods, that's how they can be at times. Many a times, in fact. Lot more than you. And some of you have legit, in a fun way, asked this person, dude, why are you being so hormonal? But I think that is the case with this person. They shut down, and then they start acting very weird, and then people ask them what's wrong, and then they're like, nothing, just let me be. And it's honestly very irritating. For anyone who's trying to get through to them, it can be very irritating, and maybe it used to be very irritating for you as well, this tendency of theirs when you guys were together. One more thing that I just got for you guys, group 2. They were expecting way more attention from you during this last meeting, which you did not give them, because with the Three of Cups, you were busy having fun with the other people who were there. And rightly so. Like, it's not your job to keep on asking them what's up and how are you and what's bothering you and all of that. But it did sting them. Like, how is she so unbothered suddenly? Like, she did not come and sit next to me. She did not have much one-on-one conversation with me. Like, why is she even here? They did get offended. They were pissed off, offended, all of those things, all at once. And I think that is why they were being erratic like that. When we do it, we have an excuse. Like, that's literally our hormones. What's their excuse? That's just how they are, apparently. So anyway, now let's see, what were they noticing about you during that last meeting, group 2? Spirit, how was the person on group 2's mind? What did the person on group 2's mind notice about them during their last meeting? We have strength. What did the person on group 2's mind notice about them during their last meeting? Seven of Swords in reverse. They had lost all power over you by then. What did the person on group 2's mind notice about them during their last meeting? And we have the Ten of Cups. You were unbothered, group 2. That is what they noticed. Power over here, strength, with the Seven of Swords in reverse, tells me that when you guys used to be together, or when you guys used to hang out more frequently together, whatever the case might have been, this individual, I am sure of it, used to manipulate you emotionally. Alright, they were very cunning with it, they were very smart about it, but they used to do it. And I also feel like they were extremely confident that they will never lose that grasp over you. That regardless of how much time has passed, you will still answer to every beck and call of theirs, which you didn't. Because in that last meeting, they noticed how you had stepped into your power, how you, through your body language, through your actions, you made it very clear that they simply do not have that power over you anymore, that you're not going to fall for their mind games anymore, that you're not going to fall for their silly, erratic behavior, tactics anymore. It just does not, like, you're done with it. You're above all of that now. With the Seven of Swords being in reverse, in the past, they could have made a game out of this, a guessing game you can say, where they will sit in a corner and they will sulk, and then it'll be your responsibility to figure out what's bothering them, to keep on buzzing around them, keep on asking them what's wrong, did I say something, did I do something. And they were doing the same thing in that last meeting also. That is exactly the kind of behavior that they resorted to. But this time what was different was that you couldn't care less. You had zero fucks to give. You did not ask them what was bothering them at all. Instead, with the 10 of Cups over here, you were busy merrymaking with other people. And they saw that. They noticed that difference. They realized that they've lost all that power over you. They do not have that kind of influence on you anymore. And they did not like it. They absolutely did not like it, because they were very confident that they have conditioned you a certain way. They've conditioned you to behave a certain way, that they've conditioned you to react a certain way based on however it is that they are behaving. And when they witnessed in that last interaction that you have broken out of that mold, that you're not doing any of those things which they had expected you to do, they did not like it at all. It made them feel extremely powerless, we can say, around you, next to you. In fact, with the 7 of Swords being in reverse, it's almost as if they entered this quizzical mode, wherein they were trying to have these question answer rounds with themselves in their mind. What has changed? How is she being like this? How is she not getting bothered? How is she not getting affected? How is she okay despite seeing me sitting in a corner and sulking and brooding? How is it not affecting her? That was very new for them, this change in your behavior. To witness it was very new for them. Okay, now let's see what was left unsaid by them during that last meeting. Spirit, what was left unsaid by the person on group 2's mind the last time they met? 3 of Swords. What was left unsaid by the person on group 2's mind the last time they met? 7 of Wands. What was left unsaid by the person on group 2's mind the last time they met? 7 of Cups. At the bottom of the deck we have the Devil. It's a good thing that they did not say much to you during that last meeting, because that Devil at the bottom of the deck tells me that if they did say anything, it would have been like a last-ditch effort to get you back, or like pull you back into that zone of manipulation and tactics and mind games and such. They did not tell you how much it was hurting them to see you being so, happy in your own world, like being in your bubble, absolutely unbothered. I have no time for your sob stories anymore. I have no time for your drama anymore. I've got better things to do than, mother you around and ask you what's wrong and what's up and things like that. That confused them. In fact, the 7 of Cups over here tells me that they were very close to confronting you. What's wrong with you? Why are you being this way? Why are you behaving like this? But then they decided, using their better judgment, that they actually do not have a right to ask you such questions. Like, why are you not falling for my mind games anymore? They can't ask you that. But they did want to let you know that it was affecting them, that it was hurting them. My problem looking at these cards, especially with that bottom of the deck energy over here, is that they were not hurting because things were on the verge of getting over, or because things were already over. They were hurting because you managed to get out of the trap, because you managed to identify and break the pattern. That is why they were hurt. And that is what I don't like about them. In fact, the 7 of Cups over here tells me, like, immediately they were trying to come up with different ideas or more ways in which they could reel you in, and they never really got around to implementing any of those. Maybe because the first couple of tactics of theirs did not really work, but I feel like what they wanted to say but didn't was nothing but a series of accusations that they would have hurled at you, almost like confronting you. You've changed. You know, like how sometimes people can say you've changed, like it's a bad thing. They could have tried to guilt trip you for it. So then it's a good thing that they didn't. Because the Seven of Wands over here tells me that you were in no mood to take their shit that day. So if they had tried to confront you, if they had tried to guilt trip you, they would have had it from you, group 2. So for their own sake, I think it's best, in retrospect, it's a good thing that they chose to keep their mouths shut. So anyway, these are all the messages that I have for you right now, group 2. If you want to book a personal reading with me, or if you want to check out more readings by me on Instagram, or if you want to check out exclusive readings that I post on Patreon, you will find all those links in the description box. I will see you next time. Bye. Hello group 3, welcome to your reading. So the first thing that we will find out is how was the person on your mind feeling the last time that you guys met. I have uploaded the next time that they see you, so you can check that out. Also, this was a suggested topic. Other than future spouse, if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments, because I have enough of future spouse suggestions already. Anything other than that, feel free to drop it in the comments below and I will get to it. And I will get to the future spouse readings also, just FYI. Spirit, how did the person on group 3's mind feel the last time they met? We have the 6 of Pentacles. How was the person on group 3's mind feeling the last time they met? Page of Cups. How was the person on group 3's mind feeling the last time they met? And we have the 2 of Swords. Can you clarify the 2 of Swords, please? And we have the Queen of Wands clarifying the 2 of Swords present over here. I think it's been a while since you guys have met each other. We have the 6 of Pentacles over here. Perhaps this last meeting happened in 2016, or it's been 6 years. Maybe 2006 also for some of you. Does not have to be, of course. For some of you, it might have been January of this year when you met last. For a few of you, I also feel like this is someone whom you've known for a relatively long time. Maybe this is somebody whom you grew up with, somebody whom you studied with, and then you guys parted ways. So, first of all, with 6 of Pentacles over here, for the most part, they were feeling exactly what you were feeling or how you were feeling. So if you were excited to see them, they were also excited to see you. If you were feeling nostalgic, they were also feeling nostalgic. If you were experiencing pangs of separation, even while the meeting was going on, so were they. Like, it's almost as if both of you knew that you might not get to see each other for a very long time after this. In fact, the Page of Cups over here tells me that during that last meeting, the excitement or the nervous energy in you and in them was the same as maybe the first time that you guys met each other. You know, like, or how when you have a crush on someone and then you have your first date with them, how nervous you get, how excited you get. You were experiencing those emotions and so were they. And there is a lot of innocence in these emotions with the energy of the Page of Cups over here. There is no manipulation. There is no, if I say this is how she'll react and then I can play off that. Nothing of that nature. Just pure, genuine emotions over here. I definitely feel like both of you were stealing glances as well. I'm not sure if it was just the 2 of you though. Maybe it was just the 2 of you for a lot of you, but for some of you, I definitely feel like there were other people around during that last meeting as well. Like other people within that group that you guys were hanging out with. There was a lot of desire over here, for sure, with the Page of Cups. There were things that they had planned to do or things that they had planned to say to you during that meeting. But This closing at the Two of Swords clarified by the Queen of Wands tells me that when they actually got to the meeting and when they did have you in front of them face to face and they saw you, they weren't sure whether they should go ahead with it or not. The plans that they had, things they wanted to say, which we'll get to in a minute, they started feeling very underconfident. They started feeling very unsure of it. They started feeling very unsure of their plan, whether you would be open to it or not. So I can literally feel that anxiety right now. I can feel that longing right now. It's very complex and yet very innocent. Like there's no malice anywhere over here. Even if they did have any plans or even if they did have things to say to you, I don't think any of it was, like there were no ill intentions behind it basically. Also, with the Page of Cups, Two of Swords and the Queen of Wands, they were definitely feeling inadequate next to you. If it had been a while since you guys had met and then you met each other, they saw that you had a glow up. The way you were speaking, you sounded more confident. Your dressing sense had improved. Like I said, like some glow up or something had happened, and the person that you had become, they felt like they did not really stand a chance because they might have had an earlier version of you in their head. And then when they saw you after all of that time, months, years, or whatever else it was, they realized that you've left them behind in terms of growth. And so that is where that fear of inadequacy seeped in. Okay, now let's see, what did they notice about you during this last meeting? Spirit, what did the person on Group 3's mind notice about them during their last meeting? Ten of Swords. What did the person on Group 3's mind notice about them during their last meeting? King of Wands. What did the person on Group 3's mind notice about them during their last meeting? Death and Rebirth. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. They noticed how you seemed very much at peace with the status quo. Alright? Maybe at the time of your last meeting, you guys weren't really a thing anymore. It had been a while, a lot of time had passed, you were just catching up, and there could have definitely been other people over there as well. So whatever the case might have been, it seemed to them that you had made your peace with it and that there was nothing in your body language, in your words, in your expressions to suggest that you want this again with them. In fact, with the Ten of Swords being present over here, they could see some disappointment in your energy, especially directed at them. Although you weren't really talking too much about it, but they had hurt you and you were still carrying that hurt somewhere. It was evident to them. Like you were not totally okay with the idea of seeing them again, and they could sense that. The other thing, like I said, that they noticed was you were not really as excited or as open to the idea of dating them again or being with them again. In fact, the King of Wands over here suggests that for some of you, even if you did not say it, even if nobody really asked you too much about what's going on in your love life at that time, they felt like there was someone. They felt like you had moved on with someone, or that there were other people whom you were talking to, other people whom you were interested in, and that they had missed the train. They were late and they missed the train. There's also something about your gaze that's coming through very strongly over here. There could have been instances where you held direct eye contact with them on purpose just to see how they would react, or what kind of emotion or response would it evoke in them. Kind of like, if I know that you're guilty of something, I will have a stare down with you to see if you flinch. And you could have done something like that, and then they could tell what it is that you were trying to do. I don't know if they gave it away, but the fact that you did something like that told them that, at least at that point in time, you hadn't really forgiven them for whatever it is that they did. Like, you were carrying it quietly, but you were carrying that pain, you were carrying that hurt, you were carrying that disappointment, and perhaps that is why you really weren't as interested in them as you used to be back in the day. Okay, now let's see, what did they want to say to you but they didn't, their unsaid feelings during that last meeting. Spirit, what did the person on group 3's mind wish to say to them during the last meeting but they didn't? The Hermit, what did the person on group 3's mind wish to tell them during the last meeting? Ace of Swords, what did the person on group 3's mind wish to say to them during their last meeting? Two of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have the King of Swords. They did not tell you that not a day had gone by when they did not think about you, or when they did not think about the repercussion of their words or their actions, especially if they were very quick, like somebody pulling the rug from underneath your feet. With the Hermit, they could have ghosted you for some of you and then popped back in your life again, or resumed communication with you, or maybe you reached out first, whatever the case was. With the Two of Wands being present over here with the Ace of Swords, they wanted to tell you that even though in that moment they were trying to be very unbothered and unaffected when they told you that they don't want this anymore, or that they don't want anything to do with you, or whatever else it was, however it is that they decided to end things with you, they wanted to let you know that it was nothing but an act. Alright, they weren't as unfazed and as unbothered as they seemed. It would keep on playing in their head like a record that's stuck. They would think about that moment over and over and over again. What could they have done differently? What could they have said differently? Could they have let you down gently? All of those things. And the Two of Wands over here tells me that there could have been physical distance between you guys after things ended, or maybe it had already come into the picture, whatever the case was. And they did not tell you that that distance was affecting them. That if distance wasn't an issue, they could have handled things differently. They could have done something else. Maybe they would not have ended things with you. But because distance came into the picture, they thought that, well, this is it now. This is what I should be doing. This is the need of the hour. They would have told you that in retrospect, their mind, their heart revisits that memory a lot. They get haunted by that memory a lot. And yet, with the Ace of Swords over here and the Hermit, they would have told you how they do not have the courage to tell you all of these things, to confess to you that they're not as brave as they seem to be, that they're not as non-emotional as they pretend to be, that things like this do get to them, they do affect them. And the reason I feel, with the Ace of Swords being present over here, why they chose to stay mum rather than speaking with you or telling you all of these things is because they feared that you would lash out at them. Because as we saw earlier, they could sense that you were carrying that grief, that you were carrying that hurt. And so in their mind, They were confident that there is a very real possibility of you calling them out on not just one thing, maybe multiple things. And especially if there were other people around, they did not want to make, they did not want to create a scene, or they did not want you shouting at them in front of all these other people. Even if you wouldn't have done such a thing, they were sure that you would, considering how they had acted, which is why they chose to maintain that safe distance and just keep all of these things to themselves and not really have that conversation with you at that time in that environment. Alright, group 3. So these are all the messages that I have for you right now. If you want to book a personal reading with me, or if you want to check out more readings by me on Instagram, or if you want to check out exclusive work by me on Patreon, you will find all those links in the description box. If you are new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, please. I will see you next time. Bye.